Last time Royal Princess arrived in Fiji, and I explored Lautoka, the country's second city. And today, my adventure continues.
Good morning from Suva in Fiji, the capital city of Fiji, and it's the 33rd capital city I've ever visited in the world. So it's a nice one to tick off my list. It's also the furthest east I've been in the world, although I am going to change that record tomorrow, so we've still got a bit further east to go. But yeah, today, record-breaking day.
Up on the sun deck today. 17 in Suva.
On the sun deck, I accidentally found the fitness centre. Now, the gym's not really my go-to thing, but if it is yours, there are some fitness classes that are included in the packages, and then I went to explore the gym to see how good it was. It turns out Royal Princess has got a really well-equipped gym. There are loads of exercise bikes, treadmills and CrossFit machines. There's a separate space for classes. They were getting ready for Pilates. Then there's a lot of weights machines and free weights. And then you get that excellent view on a sea day, although being in port, the gym was empty today.
Here at the back of the ship, you've got the flag flying there. This is Suva, the capital of Fiji, and it's where I'm going to be exploring today. I've left it. I've had a leisurely day. We're here till 7:30 at night tonight, so I'm not in a great rush. So yeah, this is the city behind me. I'm going to go and wander over there.
Right outside the port is the colourful bus station, so if you wanted to go and explore the island on your own, it's fairly easy to get to the transport links. Although I was planning to walk into the centre of the city. Heading over to the other side of the ship, I got another view of Fiji's skyline. As in Lautoka the day before, I just found that skyline with all the mountain ridges so beautiful. You don't need skyscrapers to make a skyline in a place like this.
I've got a plan to go and visit the gardens and the museum, which are over in this direction, so kind of around here. So that's where I'm planning to walk anyway. So I'm going to get off the ship, go and see what's out there. It's a lovely place to be visiting. It's nice to tick off another capital city. The weather is really nice, nice and warm, so plenty of sun cream, plenty of water to keep me hydrated. Going to get out there, go and explore, so come along with me. So we have the Royal Princess here, the skywalk up there in the port of Fiji. It's another container port, you can walk out of it, so curious arriving in these, but you know, you feel like you're at sea when you're in big container ports like this. You get to see a different way of life. Lots of people already walking back to the ship. It's near enough lunchtime. I've kind of spent my morning on the ship, but I don't mind doing that. I'm getting a leisurely day. I've not got any great rush, and you know, I usually think 4 hours is about right for visiting a city. Well, we'll soon find out, won't we? So there's a free shuttle service to Tapu City. So that's going to be another of those markets from yesterday. We've got little stalls, we can do the massages and tours. Yes, we've got all the tour buses and shuttle buses. There's lots of private tours you can do in this place as well. So if you don't like spending your money, and I guess because we're for a long day till 7:30, you can probably risk that and not worry about getting back to the ship on time too much. It's quite a good walkway out of the port, so it's all nice level pavements, so far if you want to walk, you definitely can. There are plenty of taxis around if you want to do a taxi. So little street markets there. They bully you, they ask you what your name is, and then they try to engrave it on a souvenir, and then you have to buy it. Well, not going to happen. Yeah. So they're quite persistent, so don't be afraid to say no. don't buy the first thing you see. Also, be wary of buying wooden things, particularly if they're all lacquered over, because it's not a problem here. It's a problem when you get back to Australia, because they don't bring wood in if it's like green wood, and if they can't tell, they don't let it in to preserve the biosecurity. So somebody actually did warn me about that. Just be careful what you buy wooden souvenirs wise. And blue trees in Australia, and lovely purples, and there's reds down there. I keep seeing these little birds with the white wings everywhere. I'm not quite sure what they are. Oh, looks like it might light up at night. Might see that later on. Not still away till after 7:30. Get the palm trees there as well. Very colourful. Southern Hemisphere, so we're going into summer here, not winter. It's November now. Oh, yeah, we're in November. Walking along the seafront, and you see the tsunami warning signs. So, forget that they have earthquakes in this part of the world. It's not the first place I've been. I think this is actually probably on the Ring of Fire, still in the Pacific Ocean. I've been on the Peruvian side of it, the Alaskan side of it, the Los Angeles side of it, and I've been to New Zealand and done that side. So, they live in a volatile part of the world sometimes. But hopefully that's as much as I have to think about that. A novelty to take a photo of. So I could head up there and go through the town. I might come back through the town later. But for now, I'm just enjoying the waterfront. So I'm going to stick with the waterfront path down here for now. Just walking around the waterfront, lovely blue sky. It's never quite past that some of the tourists walking around with me, so 50 in numbers. Just along the waterfront there, with ships in the background. So you do realise that this is a container port and a cargo port just by looking at the ships. Very nice. So I'm carrying on, heading this way. I'm going to keep walking. Follow my nose. I know that the museum is in this direction, which is my main objective for the day. Been walking for about 20 minutes now. The path's forcing me off the waterfront and back in towards the town. Now actually I could see that on the map, so that's a good sign. I knew that there was something that was like this, so I think this is where I'm now going in a straight line. A bit more through the centre. Oh, actually just over there there's a clock tower. Now I know that the Fiji's Parliament's meant to be up in this direction where I'm going, so we're going to have to see if that's what that is. Actually, you do notice here that Suva does have some high-rise buildings. There weren't really any to notice in Lautoka. A few floors here, not skyscrapers by any means, but we clearly don't need them. And then, heading on a road inland now. Just been chatting to a very nice taxi driver who was trying to sell me a tour of the island, but he did tell me that these are the government buildings, so it is a core, but it's also the Parliament. Very pretty. And the oldest building I've seen probably in Fiji so far. You can just cross the road anywhere, you just take your life in your hands running past the cars. It's not the busiest. If you wanted to come to Suva for a holiday, there is the Holiday Inn there. The little lights up on the lampposts and trees and stuff. I'm not sure whether that's a general thing, whether it's a Christmas thing. There's the clock, so the clock's the government buildings. So just next to the Holiday Inn, you've got the Grand Pacific Hotel, which is a splendid building. It's always lovely when you're in a palm tree line walk. Okay, where you go, that feels exotic to me. So there you've got the Parliament building, then you've got the sports pitches, and then just as you turn around here, you've got a little outdoor exercise area, and you've got the Thurston Gardens, which is one of the things I've come to see the museum somewhere in the middle of all that. There is a ship's tour that would take you to the Thurston Gardens and the museum. I've walked here in less than half an hour. If you like your DIY trips, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be any good, but the ship's offering it, so I'm putting my trust in their ability to pick a trip. And if nothing else, it's free. Oh, there you go. And there's the sign for the Visit the Fiji Museum next to it. So that's my my adventure for today. The Fiji Museum through the park. It's $20 to get in. Overseas visitors, or $10 if you're a local. Fiji dollars, so it's about £7, which I am not fussed about paying whatsoever. I'm going to head into the Thurston Gardens, see what this is all about. I did the gardens in Toowoomba, They had a few trees, but they were much more planted. This feels much more tropical now we're in Fiji. I just stopped to look at this really nice tree. I heard a bit of squawking, and you look up there. I don't know if you can see that, but it is full of bats. They're bats screeching away. There you go. Oh, how weird is that? Dangling up there in the trees in the daylight. I do not stay away from bats. Don't want to catch any rabies or any bugs and stuff, but fascinating to see. The tree is full of them. And there you go, you have the clock tower. Just in the background. All the bats there. And when you find the clock tower, you find the Fiji Museum. So the gardens aren't very big. Not much there, although the tree's full of bats. There's a little cafe at the museum as well. Your breakfast or your lunch. I had a big breakfast, so don't need to bother. The seating area. Overlooking the gardens. Of course, if you come on the tour with the ship, you get a coach. And they also got a bit of food there, because I just watched them walking in. So actually the coach has just arrived before me. So I'm getting sent to, I've just had to walk here. And we are at the Fiji Museum. Open 7 days a week, 9 foot 4. Right, I'm going to enjoy the museum, so if you want to see it, I'm not going to video it, you'll have to come on and look yourself. A good excuse to visit Fiji. We will start with this lovely canoe.
It's a good start though. The stories are in English, so that helps. I saw it yesterday about Captain Bligh. So he mapped the Fiji Islands after the mutiny on the Bounty in 1789. And Captain Cook came to Fiji in 1774 as an Englishman, but Abel Jansu Tasman was here in 1643. This is quite an interesting map. So we're in Suva and Viti Levu, and then there's Vanuatu Levu. And these are the little islands around. That's Lautoka where we went yesterday. Suva where we are today. I'm going to Dravuni Island, which I think is somewhere down the bottom of here somewhere. Anyway, that's where we're off to tomorrow.
So that is a lovely little museum. It costs 20 Fijian dollars to get in. That's about £7. It's just gone 2 o'clock. Ignore that clock behind me. That confused me a minute ago. It is 2 o'clock, so I've been out off the ship about 2 hours now. So I probably took half an hour or so to get here, maybe 10, 20 minutes walking through the gardens and stuff, getting into the museum. I probably spent a good hour in that museum. There's a lot to read, so if you like stopping and reading, the tour that was here came and went. So obviously, if you have a guided tour, I guess that makes a bit of a difference, because they'll tell you the story, but you don't have time to stop and look at everything. So I wasn't particularly busy. But anyway, very much enjoyed it. So yeah, it's worth calling in. The Thurston Gardens, there's not much to them. It's just a nice little tropical kind of garden, really, with lots of palm trees and, of course, those bats in the trees, which is crazy. And this nice little clock tower behind. So yeah, definitely worth spending my time here. I'm now going to turn around and head back. I'm not sure there's much else on my list for today here. So I'm going to go into the town and see what there is in the centre.
Just a tree full of bats. And you swing round. That's the clock tower. And then there's another one over there that I saw earlier. see the Parliament there across from the park. So the Thurston Gardens aren't big, but they are very nice. Very tropical. I'm going to head back towards the town now. I did check this out on Google Maps and it looked like a far more complicated walk, but actually in real life it's really been easy to just wander off the ship, and I'm going to head into town just down that way past the Parliament again. So yeah, definitely if you can walk, then do that. I've just met a friend off the ship who got a taxi, so that's also easy. It's afternoon, the rugby teams are out. Even I know that Fiji's a good rugby playing nation. The flag of Fiji blowing in the wind there. Not sure if you're going to be able to see it. Light blue with the Union Jack in the corner. It was once a British colony. I think I read in the museum that it got its independence in 1970.
The buses here are really, really noisy. You wouldn't know it. I love the story of the Carnegie libraries. So Andrew Carnegie, I think he was an American philanthropist, donated loads of money to small places around the world to build libraries. So I've seen one in St Lucia, in Castries. Here I am in Suva City in Fiji with one. Where I come from in Darwen in Lancashire in England, we've got a Carnegie library. That's a nice connection around the world. My little travel connection of the day. If by any freakish chance you are actually hungry, but there in the distance you've got the Golden Arches at McDonald's, so if you're desperate for a burger, you can pop into Mackie D's. But to be quite honest, I don't need any more food at the moment, quite full enough. Just a little park here. Now, I keep seeing this guy's name everywhere. I'm guessing he's a quite important local dignitary called Ratu Sakuna Park. I'm presuming he's Ratu Sakuna and this is the park in his name.
Apparently, Ratu Sakuna was a Fijian chief, a scholar, soldier and a statesman who was influential in Fiji before they gained independence.
There's a shopping centre over there. Or you can turn back towards the port that way. I might just go and wander up there, I've got loads of time. I want to see what's in the town centre. So this is an important little landmark. They had public land sales on this spot in 1880. Fiji was a British Crown colony in 1874. The first missionaries arrived in 1835 and Suva was proclaimed capital of Fiji in 1882. And it's worth having a wander. So you've got the Reserve Bank, a very modern building. Right next to it, you've got Suva's Sacred Heart Cathedral.
Done a loop of the city and there's the ship again, so you're not going to get lost. It's not that big a city.
Now walking the opposite way from the ship, there's a little market. Oh, actually, it's not even such a little market. Mangoes. Mangoes everywhere. Sweet mangoes, tree mangoes, mango juice. It's a whole market full of mangoes. How amazing is this? And you've got cakes and foods and snacks if you want them. Through the market you have the bus stops with the noisiest buses ever. Noisy but colourful buses. You know, every colour of the rainbow. Oh, there's even a police bus. That's my bus in the background. The Royal Princess, looking splendid in the sunshine.
So it's 3:30 and I'm back at the ship. See the flag of Fiji flying there on top. Let's get a better view than the one I saw in the Parliament earlier. Lots of people taking the offer of a massage, but not my kind of thing. And I'm back at the ship. I did get warned they've been doing balcony maintenance today, so I don't really have the option of sitting out on my balcony in this lovely side away from the town view, which is just an excuse to get up on deck and go to a bar. They have actually done a lot of work though. They were drilling and sanding all the rough stuff there. It's all been painted off, so it's all looking nice and white. So, you know, they've got to keep care of the ship at some point, and they can only do it when it's in port, so I'm not going to complain. I'm back in my cabin after a lovely day in Suva. I enjoyed my walk along the waterfront and found the Thurston Gardens and the Fiji Museum really easily. It's a nice straight road, to be honest. You're not going to get lost. It's not that big of a city, but
but there's enough going on. There's lots of bustle, and the colour of the buses are like colours of the rainbow, noisy as anything, but brightens the place up. And the people are lovely. Everyone says Bula to you, so Bula's hello or welcome. And yeah, people just stopped and said it in the street. Half the time they were going to try and sell me stuff in fairness, but so just be wary of it. But yeah, lovely. I'm just looking out of my cabin patio windows. They've cleared the maintenance now, and I can see the islands in the distance. It's the scenery of the islands that really make Fiji, I think. And you get into the town, it's not as picturesque, let's say, but it is real. That's where they live, and you get to experience how Fijians live their life. And actually, I'd much rather see that than some shiny tourist bit. But you know, the museum was really interesting. I got to learn a bit of history. I've enjoyed a walk through the town and or is it a city? I guess walk through the city. Really enjoyed that. But then we've got Sail Away coming up later on. It'll probably be dark, so actually I'm going to go and get some videos now and get a few more photos of the island. And then at least we get to see it in daylight, because the scenery is spectacular when you actually find it. So yeah, definitely highlight of Fiji is seeing the scenery.
Oh, you come out here after being in the air conditioning, you realise how hot it is. I didn't really know what to do with myself. There's a bit of a lull in the entertainment, and then I remembered that the balcony's clear again. I have my minibar, which I keep forgetting about, so I'm going to sit out and read my book and enjoy the beautiful view over Suva. Because why on earth would you not do? My relaxing on the balcony kit is getting bigger and bigger as I watch these views and whatever is passing by. Sunset in Suva is at 6:14 PM, which is in another 10 minutes. So that's an excuse to keep sitting on the balcony and just watching, isn't it? How beautiful is this? Actually, I think this is the more beautiful view. You've all these mountains, and they're all just ever so slightly different shades of that grey, bluey, greeny colour. And the shade changes the further back they go. It's absolutely lovely. I think it's one of the most perfect views I've seen in a long, long time. Actually, in fairness, it's as perfect as it was in Lautoka sailing away yesterday, which was equally beautiful.
After enjoying the sunset, it was time to get ready for a full night of entertainment.
So it's a bit different, the show tonight. It's like the love and marriage match, Mr. and Mrs. kind of show. And then there's a different comedy magic show later on. So I'm squeezing the two shows in and then going to have food in the middle tonight. Antipasto tonight.
For mains, I went for one of the pasta dishes that had an unpronounceable Italian name, but it was kind of like a ravioli. It was really delicious, but the only problem with it, I could have done with a bigger portion. Then for dessert, I had tiramisu again, because that was delicious the night before. In the piazza, it was ABBA party night, so I headed to Bellini's for a beer to listen to the music. On the way to the theatre, I found another bar. This is the Double Down bar, which is next to the casino and it's a bit of a sports bar. I actually needed to know where this was, because it's where I'm going to collect my water shuttle tickets for Darwen Island tomorrow. This was a bit of a crazy one. I've been on the ship a week and a half and I'm still finding bars.
It's a bit weird tonight. There's two different shows. And the second show of the night is Duval, who's the cruise director, doing a comedy magic show apparently. They're doing a watch sale tonight just to tease me.
One of the things that I like about the central atrium on Royal Princess is that you've got all the bars and restaurants and entertainments all around it. So I'm in Bellini's, which is one of my favourites, and then up the top there you've got Crooners. Down the bottom you can go to Good Spirits, which is also the late bar. Then you've got live music and the Piazza, and they're setting up the disco for later. Round the corner there you've got the International Cafe, and then even up on these top decks you've got Alfredo's Pizza, where I went for my tea tonight. So yeah, even just in this bit of the ship there's loads to do. The disco was having a bit of a lull when I filmed this, so there were quite a lot of people still around the outskirts and in the sidebars. I much prefer the disco being in the central atrium at night rather than shuffled away at the back of the ship somewhere, because there are actually loads of people out in it every night. It was after 1 in the morning when I got to bed, but still plenty of time to get some sleep before our last day in Fiji.